What the Lord does is he gives us an eternal perspective on our temporary turmoils because he is our firm foundation. He is our waymaker and our trailblazer, and he will go before you always, making your path straight. So many times when we lack confidence, it's the devil whispering those lies in our ear, and the devil loves it when we get distracted and that we question our confidence in Christ and our firm foundation. Because when we question and don't have that confidence, the devil has us pointed in the wrong direction, and he loves that. It makes me think about Elijah. So Elijah, was a prophet, and he was living through a time of a great famine. And so God had told Elijah, there's a great famine coming. I need you to go to this area. I will have ravens bring you food, and you will drink the water from the brook. Well, as the years in the famine raged on, God told Elijah, I need you to move now. I need you to go to this town called Zarephath. And when you get there, you will find a widow by the gate and ask her to provide a meal for you. So Elijah says, okay. So he goes to Zarephath. He gets to the gate, and there's the widow. And of course, he asks the woman for food. And she looks at him and she says, truly, I tell you, today I will die. I only have enough food, enough flour and oil to make me and my son one last meal. And Elijah says, well, God sent me here to ask you this. Will you remain faithful? And so she did. And so that widow had to do something in advance that would only make sense later. And how many times in our life are we asked to do that same thing, to have that blind trust, knowing that, again, it may not make sense now, but it will later. So we must rely on him as our firm foundation. It makes me think one of my, I always say my favorite verse, like I can't even narrow it down. Anyway, I love Isaiah 61:3 because it says that I am an oak of righteousness, that I am a planting for the Lord, and that I will display his splendor. Now, I know that verse, I have it memorized, but do I always feel it? No. Does my confidence get shaken? Yes. And every time it does, I ask myself, what is the fact and what is the feeling? Because we all know that our emotions and feelings will take us on a mad roller coaster ride sometimes with no end in sight. So I stop myself and I'm like, what's the fact and the feeling? Well, maybe my feeling is I'm being disappointed, or I'm confused, or my confidence. And then I go back to the truth, which is the word, which is the foundation upon which I build my life. And God promised me, Jody, you are an oak of righteousness. You are a planting for me, and you will display my splendor. And of course, the more I say those words, the more I remind myself in the confidence of my firm foundation in him. Because the Lord has so many promises for us. He's promised us to be our strength in our struggle, peace in our pain, and victory in our valley. Because when the storms come and the winds blow, as they always will, we can remain faithful, knowing that he is our firm foundation. Because confidence in who he is, he will take our chaos to calm, our tensions to tender, our hurts to contentment, and the obstacle you face as an opportunity. So build your life on him, Christ, as your firm foundation. Because when you do, you're making a deposit on your eternal citizenship that will never be stripped or taken from you. So stand firm on him as your firm foundation. Now I want to jump into waymaker. The other word I love for waymaker is trailblazer. In Proverbs 3:5-6, it says, trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. Now, this is a very common, I hear this all the time. It's another one of my favorites. There I am picking a favorite again. But anyway, wouldn't it be great if we just said, oh, trust in the Lord in all your heart and lean on it, and boom, your path is straight. Because sometimes in our humanness, we want a magician, not a Messiah. I wish I had a magician sometime. They'd be like, can you just fix this? Boom. Hey, I'm going to say this verse. Done. But he is our Messiah, and we must say these words and wait on him. And as we wait, guess what? He will make our path straight. We must place ourselves in God's hands out of submission and obedience. And when we do that, it's letting God know that we are at his disposal. And then what he does is he prepares us for the battle that's in front of us, because battles come all the time. But when we place ourselves at his disposal in obedience, he prepares us. And it's crucial that we wait on him because, again, it's in his timing and not ours, which is so hard to chew up sometimes. But he promises to make your path straight. And if you never experienced a valley in your life, how would you grow? How would we learn to trust and depend on our waymaker, on our trailblazer? So instead of telling God how big your problems are, how about you tell your problems just how big our God is? We need to depend on him and him alone. We learn with faith what God can do because he promises to be with us. And I know things look different in life. I know that we are all sometimes living lives in situations that we did not plan. And it's hard, and we feel frustrated, and we lack confidence at that time. But we know that he is always at work, even when we don't feel like it and we can't see it. He is always at work on our behalf because he goes before us in preparation. And we must remain confident in that because he will always make a way when there is no way. And again, it's not in our timing. It's on his. And I know that the atmosphere of the world right now can be scary and difficult at times. And we find ourselves in hard situations, whether it's at the holiday times and maybe you're laying beside a loved one on their deathbed, or that you are going through sicknesses or heartbreak or lonely times. But he is our eyes when we cannot see. He is our path opener. He goes before us as our personal trailblazer. And again, so many times I have on my glasses of humanness that are full of fog and I can't see. And he promises to be our way and to open it when we cannot see, that he will give us his eyes. And I love, my grandma used to tell me, well, God doesn't close a door, he'll open a window. And then I heard this one and I love it. It says, well, while you're waiting for the door to open, you best be praising him in the hallway. Because there's a lot of times I'm on that door and it's locked, and then I start trying to kick it in, and then I use some elbow grease, and finally like, you know what? That door's not open right now. So Lord, I'm just going to stand in this hallway and praise you anyway. Because what the Lord does is he gives us an eternal perspective on our temporary turmoils. Because he is our firm foundation, he is our waymaker and our trailblazer, and he will go before you always, making your path straight.